All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Brian Russell, League Director. Thanks for joining us for our Wander Wilkes Town Hall. The idea tonight is to give everyone a bit of an overview of what we're going to be doing in Wilkesboro on Saturday, 16 November. And thanks for signing up and joining us for this second preseason event. We've already done a grit event at Harris Lake, and now we're headed to Wilkesboro to come together, do some ride, and do some other activities and just have some fun for the day. So I think we'll spend maybe about 30 minutes describing what's going on in Wilkesboro, and throughout we'll take your questions. We'll pause at the end to answer your questions. The idea here is just really make sure everyone knows what to expect when they show up and what's going on throughout the day. As is tradition here in North Carolina, any student athletes on the line, the first student athlete to ask a question will win. Shell is holding that up right now, a prize from one of our league sponsors, Fidlock, a bottle for your bike. So Shell, as she always does so capably, will help moderate the chat window and get some questions answered as we go. Let me give just a little bit of background on why Wilkesboro. Back when the season started, we thought we would be in Old Fort, North Carolina on 16 November, and I think this audience is very familiar with what descended upon Western North Carolina in late September. And Old Fort just is not in a position to host us to have an event. Trails are still being assessed. Trails have not been cleared out there. Just the time wasn't right to head out to Old Fort. We'd like to get back there and support that town, but can't do it right now. So we shifted. We thought the Lake Norman. We're pretty familiar with that location as a league. Unfortunately, all the Lake Norman park rangers were out west helping, and Lake Norman could not guarantee the venue for us for 16 November. So a lot of credit to Ben Harbor, the league operations manager who lives in Wilkesboro, is well connected. And the reason we're pulling this off is in large part to Ben Harbor, but also many of the staff members you'll hear from tonight that have been spending about the past week to 2 weeks putting together this event. So I just wanted to give them public acknowledgement for scrambling a little bit to pull off a adventure event. And I just want to describe that to everyone here. It's we're trying to provide you a little bit of something to do early in the season. We'll give you a taste of some riding, give you a taste of some trail work, give you a taste of some fun and games. That's the idea, and it's largely up to you, head coaches, and the teams to decide what you want to do throughout the day. So we're going to lay out that menu for you tonight, and then again answer any questions and make sure you're prepared to come to Wilkesboro. So like I normally do, let me share my screen here. And to find the information you need for Wander Wilkes, go to the league website up here in the What's Happening tab, click on event schedule, and then scroll down to this event here, event number one. Click on the event flyer and pull that up. We're going to spend a decent amount of time on the event flyer. This describes what's going on Saturday, and I'll point out a couple things on here you may just want to have kind of in your hip pocket or at the ready. Particularly this emergency action plan. Head coaches and coaches, if you're doing riding, going out on the trail work, make sure you have a copy of that emergency action plan with you. Team registration, this is the way we work our preseason events. We need the team to sign up because teams, the head coach has to come to support their athletes. And once you register the team through that link, Shell opens up pit zone registration for your student athletes. So if there's anyone on the line tonight that hasn't registered as a team, certainly do that. And Shell, I believe we're keeping registration pit zone open until basically Friday night. So right before the event, your athletes can sign up to come to this event. And then camping, the league is not coordinating camping, and there's nothing at Cub Creek where we'll be, but the Wilkesboro campground is right down the road. So if you do want to spend a night there, that is an option for you. And that's why we put that QR code and link on the EAP. If you click on Cub Creek Park up at the top, that will bring up the venue map for Cub Creek. And typically, the folks that have been around the league for a while have been to Wilkesboro. We are typically over on Dark Mountain or maybe the Warrior Creek trails for what we're doing. But Cub Creek is a different trail system. We're going to go check that out for this event, and some new trails there. And we're going to ride them, and we're gonna rake them a little bit while we're out there. So what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Mr. Wilkesboro, Ben Harbor. And Ben, would you mind giving everyone an orientation of the map, where they're going to check in, pit zone, and those type of things?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, do you want to be my Vanna White as you drive to show the map, or do you want me to share my screen?
I think share your screen is probably best. I'll back out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll share the screen out for you. So as you come in, no matter what direction you come in from, you'll have a short stint on Highway 421 as you roll in. Please tell me that I'm sharing. Good deal. Got a thumbs up. You'll come in 421, exit off of exit 285, and go across the bridge or do the little traffic circle, whichever you wish. Be careful. There are Wilkesboro natives that do not understand traffic circles, so please be cautious if you go through there. But you'll come down Executive Drive. That'll come through some construction zone towards the end and go down a hill. You'll start to see some feathered flags at that intersection coming down the hill. That'll go in between both the Wilkes County Agricultural Extension Office and the Wilkes County Sheriff's Office. If you misbehave or pull for some sporting team that I do not, we can arrange you be arrested later. So be cautious as you come in and park. You'll come down the hill. Pit zone will be on your left, highlighted here in yellow, or actually in the blue is where you'll put your pit zone. Parking's in the yellow spaces, and there'll be a pit zone over here on your right as well, a smaller version of it. All these spaces around the building and then in between the buildings are available for vehicle parking. Thankfully, all of our servicemen and women in the sheriff's department should be out patrolling or having a good rest, so we should have ample parking for that. As you park and go behind the Ag Center, you see our NC logo. There's a grass field with a nice shade tree for our staff. That's where we'll have our canopies set up for registration check-in and be doing our coach briefing that Sean will discuss later on. And that's where the trailhead pretty much starts and ends for the weekend. All of the squiggly lines on your Google map are the park trails. I will zoom out as the Cove Creek Park covers about 215 acres of land. Um, Thank you, Will, for asking the first question of the night. There's roughly 9.5 to 10 miles of mountain bike trails to ride here at Cove Creek with a just shy under 2 miles of greenway. And as we zoom into the North Carolina headquarters tent in the back corner here, you'll see all the crazy lines going back and forth. There has been some completed work on a new flow jump line that goes off to the left side of the hill. There's a hill climb that comes back up to the top, and then another trail that goes off the side of the mountain to the right. Um, so yes, in true NICA fashion, we're going to have an uphill finish no matter what you do to get back up to the headquarters. Inside the agricultural building, there will be bathroom facilities for us. So if you need to freshen up, use the restroom, whatever, you'll wrap around the building and go into the front door. We're going to be flagging that Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and reviewing that tomorrow with those service people and folks. So that's the logistics of coming in. We will be updating the event flyer with another link to food opportunities. They're here in the city of Wilkesboro, just above the park. If we zoom out, up here on West Main Street, near the top of the map, there's about 3 or 4 restaurants that we're going to be providing links to, either a Facebook page to see their current menus, menus actually in PDF format, or links or images to those different restaurants. There's a taco place, a barbecue place, a pizza joint, and just a typical bar and grill type tavern opportunities there. So we'll put those links to those food opportunities for you. We do not have a food truck service on site for this adventure weekend. So if you don't like any of those opportunities, certainly feel free to bring your own bologna cheese sandwich or peanut butter jelly. Anything else you would like to cover?
I think that's a good overview, Ben. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
doing that. And certainly anyone throw some questions in the chat. And again, we'll pause at the end and make sure you got your questions answered. I'll just emphasize a couple things. Head coaches, please check in with Jenny Wood at the league headquarters when you get there. Make sure all your athletes are practice ready in pit zone. before they show up. And just like Ben said, Sean Moore will host a coaches meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning to review just last minute updates and give an overview of the day. And then really you're off to all your activities. And so we'll go through those now. I'll probably bring the map back up. I want to turn it over to Golden just to describe some of the trail riding opportunities there. Ben already gave an overview of the trail system, but Golden, you want to go through some trail riding and some of the activities associated with those? And I'll pull the map back up.
Sure, that would be great. Yeah, so as Ben said, there's approximately 10 miles of trails. There's three different kind of trail, I wouldn't say systems, but trail areas. There is the Tornado Alley area that is directly below the Egg Center, and it has two like one directional downhill lines with some fairly easy but basic jumps. And that's something we'll talk about at the coach's brief, how to get your athletes down if they wouldn't feel comfortable on those two lines. When you go to the right, Tornado Alley is kind of famous for a series of wooden features. And this will be a great place for students to try out some different wooden bridges, skinnies, little mini drops. It's pretty cool back there. A bunch of little bridges. It's pretty neat. So that's Tornado Alley. As you go on further, you can hook up with Call Farm, which is basically a green trail. Just pretty, just nice, flows along, gentle climb, gentle descent. The other trail that you can go over and ride is the Perkins Loop. And Perkins Loop, I'd say, is a little step up, more of blue, little rollers, nice little berms, and a new section, a little bit more challenge on it, a little bit steeper that's been added to it. Everything will be signed, with the exception of Tornado Alley. Call Farm and Perkins Loop are both bi-directional, and of course the trails will not be closed. I mean, you could possibly see other riders out there, so you'll definitely have to keep your eyes up as you're riding those bi-directional trails. But again, everything will be marked. And yeah, so green, blue, and then Tornado Alley, a little bit more challenge. Definitely something more advanced riders will want to go check out. It's pretty cool. And you can kind of see, just looking at it, I don't really see the trail names on it. But right below the tent, kind of like the North Carolina area, that's Tornado Alley. The big loop over on the left, where it says Suspension Bridge. When you cross over that, that's Call Farm. That's Call Farm loop over there. And then when you go down, hitting the Greenway, and then across the road, then you get to the Perkins Loop over there. So it's all kind of like within the Cub Creek complex. There's a lot of playing fields. There's also a couple additional bathrooms over in that area too, kind of on the way to Perkins Loop. There's a community garden. There's a dog park. There's basketball courts. There's all kinds of stuff. Should I mention the photo safari at this point, Brian?
Yes, please. Sounds pretty cool.
Okay, so as you're riding, we do have a photo safari or a photo scavenger hunt that you can choose to participate in if you want. There are some different features and things to be looking for, some of which might be, most everything will be pretty obvious, and a few activities that you've got to do, with the exception of maybe one thing. You've got to take a photo. Bring it back to the adventure area, and you can pick up a prize. Okay. Definitely all the participants in the photo safari will get some stickers. And then I think we'll probably do a raffle for some t-shirts and some water bottles. So that's the trail riding. Is there anything else you want to mention in terms of the trails, Brian?
I think that's good. I've never been on
Okay.
them, so I'm excited to get out and check them out. That's part of this,
Oh yeah.
venture program is going to a new place to check things out. So thanks
Yeah.
for setting that up. And
These
anyone, please drop, questions in the chat, or you can put your electronic hand in the air and we get the questions answered about trail riding. What I'd like to do is next, as is also tradition in this league, typically anywhere we go, we try and get some trail work done. And we do have some opportunities here in Wilkesboro to help out and do some trail work. So let's go to Leonard Van Hoos, our Teen Trail Corps coordinator. Leonard, could you just give folks an idea of when they show up, how to sign up for trail work, and an idea of what they're getting into while they're out there?
Sure. We're gonna do 2 sessions Saturday, one in the morning and after lunch in the afternoon. We will meet up with everybody at the Ag Center, and then we'll caravan over to Social Services parking lot with our hand tools, and we're gonna fix some reroutes and stuff from the storm damage on the Call Farm Trail. Um, we're gonna polish it up and get it back where it should be. I think we're keeping our groups around 25 each session. If you have any tools at home you could bring, that would be great. We need to do some corridor clearing. So if you have loppers, that would be a good thing to bring as well. And I'm not sure where the Call Farm Trail is on the map.
So I think if I've got this right, this will meet down here in the main area, and this blue route is the driving to the parking lot up here and where the trail work
That's
will go
correct.
to the trail.
That is
So
correct.
yeah, I think for everyone, if you're interested, you get there that morning, go to the sign up sheet, put your name down morning or afternoon. And then Leonard, generally what time morning, what time afternoon for folks to muster down here to make the drive up for trail work?
I'm not sure.
9:15, I think, and then 1:15.
Okay,
Saw somewhere.
9:15 and 1:15. Okay.
Right after the coaches meeting, we'll kind of huddle up and caravan over.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you for that. And just we'll put in a reminder, head coaches, remember to count those hours. Any of the coaches or athletes helping out during the day, and then go report those in pit zone when you get back. Okay. Let's go next to either Sean or Jason to talk about the adventure area in the short course. Who wants to take it first?
Jason can go.
Good evening, everybody. I guess I don't have a ton to say, but in the adventure area, we're going to have it set up with some obstacle courses. The garage bunny will be set up, and I believe he's showing you the area where we're going to be set up there for the just the adventure area. Like I said, we'll have the tent set up. Once you complete your photo scavenger hunt, this is where you would come to the tent to kind of show you completed that activity, and we'll be able to get you some stickers and just kind of hang out and play bikes for a little bit. Sean, it's all yours now.
And then I'll be setting up a short course, and Shell and my wife have put together a box of all kinds of stuff that I haven't seen yet. So whenever I get there, I get to look at all of the resources that I've got, look at the area, and set up a short course using kind of the terrain that we have. And so, coaches, if you are interested in seeing a short course getting set up, I'll certainly kind of walk you through the process. And then it's a great way for teams to kind of warm their riders up before hitting the trail. So get them out in the short course, kind of get everybody loose. If you have riders that are new that you haven't really seen ride that much, you can see them on the short course and kind of decide what sort of trails are appropriate and kind of go from there.
All right. And so those are the activities for our day in Wilkesboro. I'll just mention everyone, we are planning on closing all the activities at 4 p.m. So coaches, please plan on getting your athletes off the trail or back from activities by 4 p.m. that gives us about an hour to pull off signs from the trails and close things down before it gets dark. And head coaches, please check out when you are done, even if you finish early. Head back to that registration tent and make sure we know you have all your athletes and you have departed for the day. I think the last thing I'll mention before we open it up to general questions is the weather's looking pretty good for Saturday, but probably chilly when you show up in the morning. So just dress appropriately, but looking like, mid 60s or so for the day. A lot of sun and looks like it'll just be a great day out there. And again, thanks to everyone on the staff here for putting it together. I won't say last minute, but yeah, we had to shift some things. And it's just always great hanging out with everyone from across the league, particularly early in the preseason. It's kind of the special thing what we do. People from all across North Carolina converging, riding some bikes, doing some trail work should be a great day. So let's pause there, see if anyone else has any other questions you want to get on the table before we head on out to Wilkesboro. Shell, how are we doing in the chat window?
Good. Sharif had a good question about the adventure passports. We do have a new one that the adventure committee put together. My fault that we do not have the physical version yet. But should have it around December 1st for the start of the season. I put the link to the PDF version of it in the chat if anyone wants to take a look and maybe share that with your student athletes so you can get started on it before we have the physical booklets. And I will be reaching out to every team's adventure coach about distributing passports to those who would like them for their student athletes once we have them.
What Shell meant to say is that the printing company changed the requirements for the passports he originally sent, and that's why it's behind. Shell, you do a great job, and never apologize for the great work you do. That was a print shop's fault.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? And that was about 30 minutes. Not too bad. We started late, but we're doing pretty good. We'll keep the line open for another minute or so just to make sure we got everything answered. And if we finish early, that just gives me more time to pack my sad prize box for the weekend. So
that seems to be a sticking point for you, like a sore spot.
Need to keep an eye on that thing next time.
We have a question. Will the jump line be closed? So I will let you all handle that one.
So, John Thomas, which jump line are you referring to?
I'm trying to unmute. I heard at the beginning, like right towards the beginning of the trailhead, you said there was like a jump line and like a flow course. That's the one.
Yes. So that is a new feature, new trail system that's been built. I'll be glad to share my screen again and give you an idea of what that looks like. This one here. So right behind the league tent, right off that pavement, you'll see a couple of wooden post signage and kind of arches that designate the trail sections. It's kind of hard to see with all the red lines, but here where my hand's going through is the left-hand line. If you're looking at the trail systems, it goes down. That is a new flow line, jump line. It has rollers. Everything is 100% rollable. Golden and I previewed the venue several weeks ago, and we continue to stress the pre-ride, re-ride, free ride. That is a trail section that if you take your students on, you want to practice those three concepts before they really start taking off and going. There are several little go around a corner, and then there's a couple more jumps and tabletops that you want to be paying attention to before you just go full send down through there. So yes, that line is open. At the very top, there's the right-hand side line. That's another downhill flow section before you get to the wooden features that Golden mentioned earlier. Again, pre-ride, free-ride, re-ride on all these trails as an adventure ride. The wooden features, they will, as Golden said, have the dismount and evaluate. because there are some higher elevations on those wood features that may intimidate certain riders. So please use caution. Please use common sense as we ride these trails. They can be features that will pop up and scare some people. So, but those will be open. Nothing that, to my knowledge, is to be closed or
Yeah.
off limits.
Ben, can I add in one more thing too?
Absolutely.
If you have like really new riders, there is a pavement. If you could zoom in, Ben, there's a paved road that goes down, and you can hook up with Call Farm, which I would recommend for your new riders. You could actually go down that paved road and hook in, bypassing those jump trails, and then just going over to Call Farm. And that's really your call as a coach. And we'll talk about that at the coaches meeting too, if you need to do that. So, I mean, they're not, they're not, I mean, they're little blue jump lines, you know, but if you're nervous about your new riders, that could be an option. Thanks.
Oh no, not nervous, excited. This sounds awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Love to hear it.
Just want to make sure, that with all these features, you're checking them out first with your athletes, getting a good game plan in terms of, it's great that those two jump lines are really cool too, in that, you've got the climb back up, you've got a designated climb trail back up to the top and they can session. So,
Well, I think it's cool. Like, I'm going to use this as a sort of a selling feature to get some of the more experienced riders, hopefully, to tag along.
yeah,
So that's cool.
yeah, cool.
So if you've ridden Dark Mountain in the past, what we consider the exit trail, the Greeny Meanie, this is a beefed up version, but shorter
Okay.
of,
All right.
of some of
Yeah.
that entrance trail or the
All
exit.
right.
Hey, Ben, we got a question about pit zone from Greg in Polk County. And for everyone, Greg is one of our new teams coming out of Polk County. Can you just describe like how it's going to be organized? We're not allocating any space, and just point it out on the map again for everyone.
Yeah. So as you come down Executive Drive, come off the highway coming down, split all the buildings up here at the top. Come down the hill, you'll start to see some parking lots. This first grassy area on your right as you're coming down will be one area that you can set up. I would say this would probably be for the smaller teams with few athletes with them, because you might be able to get 15 tents in there because of some of the construction you can see here on the screen. The other pit zone is going to be on the other side of the sidewalk from the sheriff's department. This is a bigger open field. We'll be able to have, and we'll put the pit zone feather flags in this corner and also on this corner over here, so it's visible to catch your eye. So you can park here, or you can park down here towards the league headquarters area. The pit zone will be in front of the two buildings, and then check-in registration will be at the back corner. Did that help answer the question?
I think Greg gave a thanks, so I think that covered it. And I saw a question earlier. Someone asked if this is only for returning athletes, and no, first year student athletes can attend, but we are asking the head coaches to vouch for those athletes through the team registration form, identify who those first year athletes are. So first year can come, but head coaches make sure they're ready. We've talked a lot about that on this call. Make sure they're ready to participate and have a good time and stay safe during this event, please.
So, Greg, with your new team, completely understand that you don't have any canopy tents branded with your team. But if you have any kind of a 10 by 10 tent that you'd like to set up for shade, um, feel free to do so. Just something where you can gather as a group.
All right, last call for questions before we call it a night. All right, well, I think that covers it. Thank you again, everyone, for dialing in tonight, and we are looking forward to seeing you out in Wilkesboro on Saturday. Everyone drive safe.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.